Out on the campaign trail, Boris Johnson makes the most of every photo opportunity to press his case for leaving the European Union. Now he's certainly seized the headlines, comparing EU efforts to build a superstate to Hitler's attempt to dominate the continent. The classical scholar said the last 2,000 years of European history had seen doomed attempts to recreate the Roman Empire by trying to unify it. Napoleon, Hitler, various people tried this out, and it ends tragically. The EU is an attempt to do this by different methods. Fellow campaigners defended his comments.
Well, it's a historical fact of life that if you go through it, through Napoleon, through Hitler...
But do you think that Hitler's efforts to unify the Europe, and I put unify in his case in quotes, are the same as the European Union's efforts?
I think the whole process of trying to drive Europe together by force or by bureaucracy and democratic means ultimately makes problems.
Any comparison between Hitler, who inflicted so much death and destruction, with the current generation of EU leaders was always going to be inflammatory. And there's been a strong reaction from the In campaign.
I think to try and compare Hitler and the Nazis, the millions of people who died in the Second World War, the Holocaust, with the free democracies of Europe coming together to trade and to cooperate, and in the process to help bring peace to the continent of Europe after centuries of war, is frankly deeply offensive.
The Prime Minister has said the EU is a force for peace and stability, which could be put at risk if the UK votes to leave. Both sides know they cannot just rely on economic arguments, and the former London mayor will be hoping his appeal for Britain to stand up to the EU will stir voters' hearts. With less than 6 weeks to go until the referendum, both sides have ratcheted up the rhetoric in an attempt to sway the voters. It's unclear whether people will respond to those passionate arguments about our destiny, or whether, in fact, they make rather more practical, down-to-earth judgments about whether they believe they'll be better off in or out of the European Union. Carole Walker, BBC News.